Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me here at Unapologetically Progressive. I have an update for Syria, and it may be some good news, but let's highlight a little bit of how we got here. The Assad family and Bashar Assad have ruled Syria for decades. The family has ruled Syria for 50 years. For the last 10 plus years, there's been a massive civil war going on in the country where he's attacked his own people just simply because they didn't agree with his policies. And he even dropped chemical weapons on his people. So there's no reasoning for him to have still been in power. It makes sense that he would be deposed. But what does that mean, right? What is that going to mean for the future? We talked about in the last video how my hope was kind of misplaced because I had hoped this guy was going to say through the things he was saying. Then there came the report that he had said uh, that Israel was next and so was Saudi Arabia. But in the weeks since that video, there's been some more interviews that have come out where he has stated clearly that he is not interested in getting into any more military entanglements, that he just wants to build the country because anything else would further destroy the country. Now, as has been said by the US government and several other people, you know, people can talk the talk, but they're not always going to walk the walk. So we got to see if his actions actually meet his words. And it's very possible that they won't. I've seen a lot of terrible things that have been going on. People trying to get out of the country, people being attacked in the country. And I don't know exactly who's been being attacked and who's doing the attacking, but obviously there are some radical elements because people are invading things like stores that have alcohol in them and destroying everything in the store just because they have alcohol, among other things, right? Of course, this is the issue with the potential of a Islamic caliphate or Islamic, nation. People's livelihoods can be destroyed, and they talk about building up the country, but they never do. But time will tell, right? I've got a quote here from the new leader. Um, let's see, I'm trying to find it. He says Israel's arguments have become weak and no longer justify the recent violations. The Israelis have clearly crossed the line of engagement in Syria, which poses a threat of unwarranted escalation in the region. That's what he said in a recent interview, um, discussing how the Israelis had invaded parts of Syria. They had gone through the buffer zone and they had invaded, and they were within about 15 miles at one point of Damascus. But you notice he's not saying he's going to attack them. He doesn't want the escalation. He doesn't want there to be any more war. But that's the problem. Like, he may not want the war now. He may want to start building things up now. Right, but what does that mean for places like Israel, Saudi Arabia, and other countries in the region? I understand why Israel would have done what they did in that region. I understand they want to increase the buffer zone between them and the Syrians. But also at the same time, Syria is a sovereign nation. And they should not be being invaded by Israel, who seems to have enough problems going for itself right now. But that's what we have right now. That's all we know on this particular situation. And unfortunately, there's not much else we're going to get for at least several more weeks. Because we're getting little snippets of what he has to say, their new leader, the leader of the HTS, has to say, and he's now the de facto leader of Syria. Now, watch the space, and I'll bring you more information with the more information I get.